In a distant future, humanity had evolved, both technologically and socially, into something unrecognizable. The once fragile planet Earth had been transformed into a sprawling metropolis, filled with towering skyscrapers, flying vehicles, and vibrant cities. However, beneath this advanced facade lay a deep-seated fear of the killers, a term used to describe the elite group of humans trained for combat, both physical and psychological. The killers were originally designed as the last line of defense against extraterrestrial threats. They were stronger, faster, and smarter than the average human. But with every alien invasion thwarted, their reputation shifted from protectors to potential tyrants. The general populace saw them as a necessary evil, wielding too much power and influence. In the year 2147, the intergalactic peace was shattered when a massive fleet of warships descended upon Earth. The Orcsians, a ruthless alien race, had set their sights on the planet, believing it to be ripe for conquest. Panic ensued as the cities descended into chaos. The government scrambled to mobilize its forces, but conventional military tactics proved ineffective against the technologically advanced aliens. As the situation grew dire, a message crackled through the airwaves. "We call upon the killers!" The plea echoed across the globe, reverberating through the minds of civilians and soldiers alike. It was a desperate cry for help, and the killers, led by Commander Aliyah Voss, responded with a determination that had been long dormant. Aliyah had always embraced her role as a killer, trained from a young age in the arts of war and survival. She was respected and feared in equal measure, a living weapon forged in the fires of conflict. Yet deep down, she yearned for recognition, not just as a fighter, but as a savior. The killers assembled at their hidden base, a high-tech fortress located in the outskirts of the city. Aliyah addressed her team, a diverse group of elite warriors, each with unique abilities honed through years of rigorous training. Today, we stand not as monsters, but as protectors of humanity. We must show them that we fight for their survival. As the killers prepared their state-of-the-art battlesuits, a sense of camaraderie blossomed among them. They were no longer mere instruments of destruction. They were warriors united under a common cause. Aliyah led them into the heart of the city, where chaos reigned supreme. Marxian ships loomed overhead, casting ominous shadows over the streets. The aliens unleashed their advanced weaponry, obliterating buildings and civilians alike. Yet, as the killers made their entrance, the tide began to shift. With unparalleled agility, they dodged incoming blasts and retaliated with precision strikes. Aliyah moved like a whirlwind, her instincts guiding her as she dispatched one enemy after another. With each Orcsian defeated, the citizens began to take notice. From the rubble, they watched as the killers fought not just for themselves, but for the very people who had once feared them. The tide of public opinion began to shift, and the cries of desperation transformed into shouts of hope. As the battle raged on, Aliyah spotted a group of civilians trapped beneath the wreckage of a collapsed building. Without hesitation, she signaled to her team. "We have to get them out!" Rushing towards the debris, they worked swiftly, using their advanced tools to lift the rubble. The faces of the trapped citizens filled with a mix of fear and hope as Aliyah assured them, "You're safe now." One by one, they pulled the survivors to safety, earning their gratitude and trust. As the day wore on, the killers showcased their strategic prowess, utilizing the environment to outmaneuver the Orcsians. They led the aliens into traps, employing tactics that bewildered their adversaries. The once feared killers became the heroes of the hour, their reputation evolving right before the eyes of a grateful populace. However, the Orcsians were relentless. As the sun began to set, the aliens launched a final desperate assault, deploying their most powerful weapon, a massive energy cannon aimed directly at the city center. Realizing the imminent threat, Aliyah's heart raced. She knew that if they didn't act quickly, countless lives would be lost. "Cover me!" she shouted to her team, charging towards the cannon. With each step, she felt the weight of the world upon her shoulders. The killers engaged the remaining aliens, creating a diversion while Aliyah darted closer to the cannon. Her enhanced reflexes kicked in as she dodged enemy fire, and with a fierce determination, she reached the base of the cannon. She activated her suit's explosive charges, planting them at critical points. With mere seconds to spare, she activated the detonator and sprinted away just as the charges detonated. The explosion was blinding, sending debris flying in all directions. The energy cannon crumbled into ruins, and the Arxians faltered, confused and disoriented. Sensing their vulnerability, the remaining killers launched a final offensive, pushing the aliens back until they were forced to retreat. As the dust settled, Aaliyah stood amidst the wreckage, her heart pounding in triumph. Around her, the citizens emerged from their hiding places, cheering for the very beings they had once feared. The killers had transformed in the eyes of humanity, from monsters to saviors. In the aftermath, the killers were celebrated as heroes. Aaliyah, now a symbol of resilience and strength, spoke to the crowds gathered in the city square. "We are not just killers. We are guardians of this world. Together we will build a future where fear no longer rules." And in that moment, humanity learned that sometimes the very beings they feared the most could become their greatest protectors. Only the killer humans had come to the rescue, proving that in unity and courage, even the darkest reputations could be transformed into legends of hope.